What is up, guys? It is the Bluebloods here coming at y'all with another 2-minute drill episode. Wednesday, August 4th, man. And, we're here today talking about the super conference again. We kind of set our piece on it, but we had some breaking news today from The Athletic. Max Olson said that there is going to be a meeting between the Pac-12 and Big-12 commissioners to see if so this is how they put it, a potential working relationship. And what that means is, could it benefit these two conferences to merge with the remaining Big 12 teams headed to the Pac-12 and kind of form that first super conference, especially with all the talk the SEC possibly adding some more people, which Clemson and Florida State today they were like, no way we're joining the SEC. We haven't even talked to them. So we're going to put those rumors to rest. But the Big Ten is also looking to expand, and I'm assuming the ACC is too. So Brandon, let's take this in little chunks. So first, is this a good idea for the Pac-12 and the remaining Big 12 teams to merge into one super conference?
In my opinion, I think this is a great idea for in the Big 12 and Pac-12's best interest. This is really the only move that I see that even works. Because you could go out to the Mountain West and be like, hey, do you want to, Boise State? Do you want to go join the Pac-12, for instance, or even reach out to an independent like BYU and ask them if they want to join? But realistically, what two conferences to you, Zach, have been the weakest in terms of playoff potential or really just national relevance? It's the Big 12 and Pac-12. They are not always guaranteed a playoff spot. Certainly not both at the same time. If either one of them gets a playoff team, usually it's Oklahoma out of these two. We've seen Oregon in the playoff before. But other than that, they're not really in contention for this. And Oklahoma's going out of the SEC. So why not merge? And, the SEC is about to be 16 teams. There were the rumors about Clemson and Florida State that I don't know what a reliable source is, but as soon as that came out, I was like, there's no chance. But in order for the Pac-12 and Big 12 to be able to be competitive in college football, I think they have to merge. And I'm not sure if that's exactly what's going to happen in this first meeting, but I mean, there's going to be talks about it. That's the whole meeting. That's what it's about. So I don't know, man. I think it's a great idea. I think this keeps both the conferences one single conference relevant. I think that it kickstarts the super conference phase, and I think we're going to see the Big Ten, the ACC, and the SEC, as big as they already are, we're going to see them add on more teams.
Do I have to be the one? Am I really taking this role? I think it's a terrible idea.
Why? What?
Okay, and so hear me out. So I like that they're merging some teams, but I don't think it should be a full-on merger because it doesn't make sense for some teams in the Big 12 or the Pac-12 to do this. Now, let me take this, and this kind of goes into our next question, which is who benefits the most and who doesn't. But West Virginia, how does road trips to Stanford, Cal, and USC sound next year?
Okay.
What's your travel budget?
I didn't know that this is what we were doing. So I didn't know that we meant every single team merges. I thought we were talking about obviously Oklahoma and Texas are gone. We have to assume other teams are probably also gone. Kansas is probably gone. They're going to the Big Ten. I think that really, and if that's your take, that's your take. But it was my understanding that we were going to have some stragglers. We're going to have some schools go on to other conferences as well.
Well, based on all the reports, is that the Big 12 teams right now are sticking together as best they can. So
I just don't think that's true. I think
I get you, but if this is the case, there's no way West Virginia stands to benefit from this. There's no way that the Pac-12 teams benefit. West Virginia is the obvious one, but I just don't think Baylor really benefits from it. I think Baylor could have other better options because if I'm Baylor, if I'm TCU, I'm absolutely looking at the AAC as a better option than the Pac-12. And I know that sounds crazy, but You already have Houston and SMU in that conference. You get to stay on the east side of the country where you don't get stuck traveling up to Washington and having a 9 p.m. Pacific time game, and it's like midnight in Texas, and you don't get listen. The Pac-12 has had so many problems, Brandon. I get it. This new commissioner has not had time to work his magic, but if you're a Big 12 team right now, to me as an analyst, the AAC is a way better option than the Pac-12 for me, especially if I'm on the East Coast. Well, Brandon, if West Virginia comes, there might not be games their fans get to watch before 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time.
Right. And I see what you're saying, Zach, and I understand your point, but what say do these schools really have? They have a contract until at least 2025, and then after that, I guess they could leave, and that's kind of their own choice. But really, this is up to the Big 12 and its commissioner. I don't think this is really up to the schools.
Well, they could leave. I mean, because Texas and Oklahoma. Well, Texas and Oklahoma technically can't leave till 2025. Now they're going to work that out, I think, and there's been reports they're trying to work out a sooner exit. But let's say they can't. As soon as Texas and Oklahoma leave in 25 and everyone else is free to leave, the Big 12 has no authority, right? Unless we go back to yesterday's episode and we finally have a commissioner that has some sort of control over the situation.
And then what's the worst that happens, Zach? The Big 12 dissolves like they're going to anyway if they don't join the Pac-12.
Well, they're going to dissolve, and I think all these teams go somewhere else because pretty much, Brandon, if they merger or if this merger happens or they merge, the Big 12's dissolved anyway. It's really just the Pac-18 or 20 or whatever it's going to be. And if I'm Kansas, absolutely, I'd rather go to the Big 10.
Right.
If I'm Kansas State, please keep me with my rival Kansas that I get to beat up on every year.
I don't think the Big 10 wants them.
Yeah, well, I think it has something to do with the grades, to be honest, because because the Big 10, the school has to have it's some sort of sanctioning or credential that schools have to join the Big 10, and not all the Big 12 schools had it.
Okay.
And that's why there was some talk of Oregon and these Pac-12 schools jumping to the Big 10 because they qualified. And I get it. It makes some sort of sense. I do think so. Based on everything I've read, TCU is a realistic option for the Pac-12. I mean, Kansas State maybe. I mean, listen. I'm a Kansas State student right now, but what really value do they bring right now, Brandon? To be honest,
what like bass fishing?
Yeah, that domination right there. But outside of that, and then Oklahoma State. Oh man, do I really want to get canceled by Oklahoma State fans today? I do. What are they without Oklahoma?
So yeah,
what are they without Oklahoma?
Nothing.
What value do they bring?
They're going to sell their souls to try to join the SEC as well. They will.
They should. That's the only way it makes any sense. And Baylor, for me, if I'm Baylor, if I'm TCU maybe because they were already in the Mountain West, they have some experience. I just don't see how you're going to convince some of these teams to go to the Pac-12, Brandon. That's my holdup here. I get it. And I guess it's just the college football fan in me. I'm not a huge super conference fan.
See, that's what confuses me because I'm a huge college football fan and I only want super conferences. That sounds incredible.
Listen, when the report came out about Clemson and Florida State, if Clemson and Florida State joined the SEC, it would ruin college football.
Okay.
It'd be the worst move of all time.
It's not going to happen. That's the first thing. But
it's the first thing, but it would absolutely ruin college football if that happened.
I think so.
It's too much. Listen. So the college football right now is like the kid who thinks eating 15 cupcakes is like a great idea. One time, it's like, bro, just slow down. 3, it's cool, bro. You were a little bit hungry. 15 though, bro. We're getting in some dangerous territory. Let's that's the best example. I mean, but I feel like the Big 12 teams have nothing to gain by joining the Pac-12, Brandon. They have the worst TV network. They have the worst time slots for games.
Wrong.
And they have the for the East Coast and Central Time, they have the worst time zone for games if you're a normal functioning adult, which neither of us are. So we're up for Pac-12 After Dark. And then on top of that, they have the worst perception in terms of college football playoff votes. So, Brandon, where's the positive for the Big 12?
The positive that I can think of, and if they restructure the playoff to do this, and they have the conference champion from each of the four conferences, the group of four conferences, then that's
don't disrespect the AAC like this.
They're not going to be it's not going to be Power 5. And I know that both you and I want that, and I think it's a good idea. That's not going to be the way that it works.
I was just looking for like the kick out a party button, like you off the podcast for that.
I mean, this is half of my idea. So. Yeah. But I don't know, man. I feel like you can't tell me I'm wrong there. Like you're telling me that the Pac-12 / Big 12, ACC, Big 10, and SEC are just gonna be like, oh yeah, you're one of us now. That's not gonna happen.
Well, because what I think is going to happen is they're going to I really think there's more credibility in the AAC getting the leftover 8 teams than there is the Pac-12 getting the other 8.
You hate the Pac-12. Yeah, and you've been very.
I don't hate the Pac-12. I'm a huge I've sat here and said that Oregon and USC should have been respected more last year.
Yeah, but
I picked Oregon to be in the playoffs before COVID hit. What do you mean?
Yeah, that doesn't mean you don't hate them. To me, it's because you hate them. That's it.
No, listen, I'm just looking at it from a business decision. I'm trying to be an advocate for the Baylors and the TCUs and the Kansas States and the Kansas. And why would Iowa State want to go?
They wouldn't. They're going to go to the Big 10 as well with Kansas.
So I don't even count that as a real merger. Like all the Pac-12 is doing is saying, yeah, we'll take your leftovers.
Yeah, that's all they can get. They're going to leave Tech behind because no one cares about them. And they're just going to take what they can.
I don't consider that like a super conference report. Like that's not a big deal. Like to me, if so, there's no. You're telling me that okay, let's say so. What Kansas and Iowa State are reported to go to the Big 10. West Virginia is hopefully off to the old Big East, ACC, whatever you want to call it. And then, Brandon, how exciting is it? Yay! You got Kansas State without their biggest rival. You got Oklahoma State without their biggest rival. You get TCU, which is a big pickup. I like that pickup. You get Baylor, yay for your women's basketball program and men's basketball program, and then you get Texas Tech, yay, you get no defense.
Yeah. I don't know.
So that's what the excitement's about.
So your argument is more that why would the Pac-12 want them? And like your argument is that neither one of these conferences really want to merge with each other. So why?
Don't.
That's what you're saying.
They don't. It's almost like your mom invited that one friend that like you have to act like you like them over, and now they have to like share the toys that like neither of them want to play with.
Like your parents are friends, but you're not. Like you hate
exactly. Like it's the kid where you're like, man, you know, I'm gonna super glue my Rock'em Sock'em Robot head down, and we're gonna act like we're cool today.
All right, that was a really good comparison, actually.
Like it's just like, come on, or even better, it's like your cousin that you don't really rock with comes to the house. Like, yeah, you gotta be nice to him, but it's like after they leave, you're like, Mom, do I really have to be nice to him? That's what this.
Can we not invite them to Christmas?
Exactly, and that's what this merger is. It's almost like a forced marriage. It's like, yes, you're both gonna be left out of the party, but if we come together, we both can go.
It's a fair enough point, Zach. I don't know. I mean, I can see what you're saying from your perspective. The teams probably don't love this idea, and I don't know. That's as far as I'll go. I still think it's a good idea.
What it is the Big 12 commissioner being like, "Can I please have a job? I don't want to make a LinkedIn tonight.
Can I be the co-commissioner? I don't really feel like updating the resume." Yeah,
exactly. That's what's happening. But guys, comment below. Well, what do you guys think of a Pac-12, Big 12 super conference? As I guess is what we're going to deem it. Texas Tech is a super conference, but comment below. Do you think it should happen? Which teams would you like to see in it? Which teams do you think it would benefit to go elsewhere? Comment your opinions below. Guys, we had Will Cholo, Troy defensive tackle. His interview dropped today. Make sure to go check it out. We also had Jaquez Payton, new transfer to Alabama State, a defensive back. Go check out his interview as well. And we got more interviews dropping later this week, man. So make sure to tune in. Tomorrow, we have Tony Muskett, Monmouth quarterback, man. He was the Big Sky freshman offensive player of the year. This dude did throw an interception in the regular season, Brandon, as a true freshman. He's a baller. Going into his second year at Monmouth, they're going to make a huge run in the FCS playoffs. So make sure to check out that interview now. But guys, tomorrow as well, we have our first conference preview. We're live streaming it 7 p.m. Central, live right here on YouTube.
Tonight, bro. What are we talking about?
Tonight. My bad. We record these a day ahead. Listen, I've been doing good. We have our first live stream tonight, 7 p.m. Central, live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. We're previewing the AAC. Listen, can Cincinnati repeat? Is Memphis and UCF hot on the tail? We'll talk all that right here on the Bluebloods, man. So make sure to tune in, get your comments live. We're answering y'all's questions live as well. So make sure to tune in now. So subscribe, turn on your post notifications, man. But for B-Dub, myself, the 2 Minute Drill, and the Bluebloods guys, we are out.